Okay, everyone, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you very much for joining for our presentation today. We're going to be talking about fast form building in SharePoint. So let's go ahead and get started. So just some quick intros and ground rules before we get into the main presentation. I'm Will Cooper. I am a SharePoint solutions developer, and I work closely with the InfoWise team. I'm their training coordinator, and I've used their tools for about 10 years. Additional to that, I do all kinds of things related to SharePoint. I have a YouTube channel called SharePoint Smart. You can search for that and sign up for free videos on how to do all kinds of cool things in SharePoint. And then additionally, I run a SharePoint platform called SharePoint Dashboards. So I'm very interested in all things SharePoint. To tell you a little bit about InfoWise, our philosophy is about making it simple and easy. Also, we really like to keep improving our product. So we want our tools to keep getting better, and we want to just keep on making it a better experience for those of you building solutions in SharePoint. These tools are 100% inside of the SharePoint interface. You can do all the things I'm showing you directly in SharePoint once you've added that to your environment. And it is a no-code platform. You do not have to be a developer or a programmer or anything like that to use these tools. It's all through simple and easy to understand configuration screens. We are going to do a drawing for a free embroidered InfoWise shirt towards the end of the presentation. You are eligible to participate in that drawing if you are inside of the United States. We have to do that for shipping costs. After the main presentation, I'm going to do a little bit of extra if you stick around, and that'll be to tell you some more about that other platform, SharePoint Dashboards. During our presentation, we do have you on mute, but that doesn't mean that we don't want to hear from you. Quite the contrary. Using the GoToWebinar interface, you can use the questions option, and you can send questions to us during the presentation. Please be patient if it takes a little bit of time to reply to you. I promise you we will respond. We'll stick around when the main presentation is done. So please wait if you don't get an immediate response. All right, so that takes care of our ground rules. We can go ahead and move forward. The tools I'm showing today are available both for SharePoint Online, also known as Microsoft 365, and then also these same tools that I'm showing are available for on-premise SharePoint if you guys have your own server environment. So out of the box SharePoint, it's a platform where there's a lot of possibilities, but what you have with the built-in tools can be limiting. It's not easy to do some things that you're going to want in terms of building solutions. So really, you need additional tools to be successful and to work efficiently in SharePoint. Ultimate Forms really addresses those needs. It addresses dilemmas and limitations that you otherwise might have. And that's why I really like this tool set. It's a big toolbox that lets you accomplish everything that you want in SharePoint. So definitely something that's a key part of all the solutions that I build. So let's focus on the topic of the presentation today, and that is fast form building. In many of our webinars, we talk about example solutions, and this one I really want to demonstrate ease of use. I have used other form building tools for Microsoft 365, and I, in most cases, have been frustrated, especially at how much time it takes to put together forms. And I think that's off-putting. I've talked to many other people like myself who become frustrated by that. And ultimately, the net result is that processes don't get built, forms don't get built because it takes too much time and it's just passed over. And instead, you just make do with another process. What I'm going to show today is that this tool set lets you put together forms in a very fast and easy way, which takes away those headaches and lets you move quickly and efficiently. And that means since it's easy to use, you're going to be able to put together forms really fast and use it for all kinds of processes in SharePoint. So there's some key concepts in order for this to be the case. In Ultimate Forms, they have a tool called Form Designer, which allows you to take advantage of a lot of streamlining and efficiency to do things fast. In order to be successful in fast form building, first of all, you have to have easy access to all the fields from your SharePoint list and to the controls that you're going to use in your form. We're going to see those on the left-hand side in our tool. We're certainly going to want to do multi-column layouts in an easy manner. That's going to be a part of what we do. Of course, you can't do this with out-of-the-box SharePoint. We need to do things like add headers and banner images, and we need to do it fast. So we don't want to go digging or have to do a lot of special configuration for that. In terms of styling, what we don't want to do is have to go into a style sheet and write code. We want to just be able to use simple configuration pickers to pick options like borders and background colors with just a few clicks. We want to move fast and not deal with code. Email updates are always going to be a factor when setting up forms, and we want to do something which allows us to not have to necessarily configure rules. Instead, we want a self-service system where the user can simply check a box and say that they want to get email updates for that particular record. In terms of banner images, let's be realistic. Most of us don't have time to go fishing around for those images. We need to move quick. In this tool, we're going to want to have access to images that are preloaded. So I can just directly in the form, go to a selection box, pick a banner, throw it at the top of the form, and go on with my day. Drag and drop. This is a huge factor because this lets you move your controls out onto a form canvas really quickly, and also lets you reorder the layout very quickly. It just provides for an intuitive experience, and it makes a huge difference in terms of being able to get that form put together quickly because I'm not having to deal with configuration to reorder elements and things like that. I can just drag and drop my elements around in the form, easy to understand, easy to work with, and I can move fast. Copying elements. There's always going to be some repetition in your form layout. You tend to have container sections in your form, and they tend to repeat the same styles and look and feel. And so rather than having to individually configure and style those, what helps is to just be able to copy the styling of one container element to another so that I can speed up my process, kind of a copy and paste type concept. We need to have a good variety of form controls. I don't want to have to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. For example, another form building tool I was trying to use, it was very frustrating because I had to recreate a tab style interface, and it took a lot of custom code. Those type of things are baked in here with the Form Designer. So I've got all of these key parts of my recipe, especially the containers, but then also tab controls, accordion sections, headers, buttons that I can put out in the form. All of those kinds of things, those key form elements are sitting there right accessible for me to just drag and drop onto the interface. So we need to have all those important form controls. The container system is crucial. And we need to be able to do things like multi-column layouts, which I just showed. And we need to be able to adjust that without having to do a lot of fine-tuning. I just need to do something fast and move on with my day. So I'll show you, we've got some custom controls with the container that makes them very fast and easy to work with. All right, so let's get out of the my PowerPoint deck. Here I am in SharePoint Online. So here we go. This is going to be a demonstration of 3 lists I pre-created. So I already made my fields, so let's start out with, SharePoint out of the box. Without doing any form styling. Whoops, I need to reset this form. All right, hold on a second. I'm going to go to design and reset. Publish. trying to set it back to the what I had it before out of the box. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we get out of the box, you have the side panel in SharePoint. Here's my field. So we're just dealing with some simple concepts. We're not trying to build a really sophisticated form here. This would be for entering help tickets. So this is what you normally see. We just have a vertical list of fields. I don't have any custom layout options for this, not really. I could reorder the fields. I can go to edit columns. I could reorder them. I could add or remove. Very little that I can do. Go to Power Apps. That's heavy, developer-oriented, time-consuming, and it's another platform outside of SharePoint. Steep learning curve. It's certainly nice to think you can take advantage of what's being provided, but it is not a fast, efficient form building tool. Okay, so we're going to go in and do our first one. We're actually going to do 3 forms. I'm going to go into help tickets. We're going to lay out a form, and I'm going to prove it to you. Hear a lot of claims with marketing about building SharePoint solutions and how you can do things like build an app in a day and that type of thing, but I'm actually going to prove it out to you. Okay, so once you have the app in your SharePoint site, you'll have access to these tools, and you can download and try everything I'm showing in this presentation yourself. Okay, so when you get into Form Designer, here's the interface, and we need containers. So I'm going to start knocking out this form. Okay, so I need a main container, and then we have a button bar. Those are just the standard controls at the bottom of the form. And then I'm going to go into my container. I'm going to apply a style. I'm going to do rounded shadow because I like the look of that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put background color on there. Now I'm going to move kind of quick. I am going to record this video. You can replay it back later if you want to see exactly the steps I was doing. But I'm just going to pick a color swatch, hit save, and what you see is what you get. You see things update immediately on the form, so I'm not wondering about how this is going to look after I publish it. Okay, so I'm going to do header up top, and we're going to say, all right, help request. I can control the size of that just through a simple drop down, and then I'm going to do high contrast that gives it a dark background. I'll make that centered. I'll pick an icon. I'm just going to pick that icon because I like that icon. And then I'm going to do a banner. I want to kind of dress this up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is drag a image control out of the form. And one of the options I have there is to select a banner. I can select from gallery. And since this is help desk, let's see, I'm going to go to this one. I like that image. I can control the height really easily. All right, so I just changed it to 100, and I can shift the image to get a part of that I want. Boom, I got my banner all set on the form. Just trying to make things look nice. Okay, so now I'm going to do a container. This one I'm just going to do some simple styling. We have themes in here, so I can just do simple border, and then I can start to put some fields out into this. Containers are a big part of the recipe. So at the top of this, I'm going to do a 2-column container. And I just drag and drop the fields right out of the form. Really easy to do. Okay, so I already pre-created my SharePoint fields. If I missed any, I can create them right from Form Designer. I can make new fields there. Any of those standard SharePoint types of fields, but I've already pre-created those. So we're going to start with the requester. I want this to default to whoever's logged in, just making it easy for everybody. So on the new form, I'm going to have it go to the current user. It'll autofill their name. And then I'm just going to start dragging and dropping these other fields onto the form. So the name of the person making the request, they give a title to the request, and then I have a column for category. And then after that, priority, high, medium, low. And then phone number for the person making the request, a request meeting time in case they want to get on a meeting to talk about that. And then they need to be able to provide some notes. So I made a details field. I'm putting that under this 2-column container because I want to give them lots of room to do that. And then I'd like them to put a screenshot in there too. So I made a field I called screenshot. This is the image field in SharePoint. Okay, so that's for the request. Now I need to make a container for the help desk team. So that's where their fields are going to go. So I'm going to use the same theme I did for the other one. It's just called simple border. And then I'm going to add a container inside of that. And I'm going to do 3 column for this one. So I just drag that over to 3. And then now I can put the help team stuff. Okay, so that's going to include assigned to, status, and it's going to have the expected completion for the ticket. And then we need to let the support team add some notes to the ticket if they want. So we got support notes. And then below that, maybe there's the need for additional attachments. I can just drag the attachments field onto the form like so. And then also that email update. You know, if anybody wants to get updates on this ticket, what I can do is use this alerts control, and I can even relabel it. I can give some instructions in the form. So what I'll do is say, check here if you want to get email updates. Okay, that's it. I publish, and I just finished the first form. Done. Auto closed, and let me prove it out to you. I'll go to the help tickets. Remember, it was that boring, plain vanilla, out of the box SharePoint form. No longer. There's the form. I hope you would agree. That looks pretty nice for a form that I think I spent about 2 minutes putting together. And so the ease of use of the form designer is fantastic. Okay, so that's form 1. We'll go ahead and go on to the next form. I'm going to do a vacation request form. Same situation. All I've done is I went into the SharePoint list. I just made the fields I know. Okay, I need a requester, name of the request, start, end date. I just made the SharePoint fields. Hopefully you guys are familiar with that process. And this would be incredibly boring. Here's the plain vanilla out of the box. I can't really do anything to style that form. I'm going to go into Form Designer, and we're going to do something similar to what I just did. We'll make one for vacation requests. I'm going to style it a bit differently just to show you some possibilities. Recall the button bar is something we always want under the main container. And I'm going to go ahead and this time I'll do shadow. Yeah, let's do that. Shadow and background color. I'm going to do a light yellow for this form. I just picked the color swatch. There you go. I'll do a header like I did last time. So I just drag the header control up onto the form. I'm going to adjust the size of it. Let's make a level 2 header. I like the contrast. We'll pick a icon again. I'll just pick that one. And then I'm going to do a banner. I like to add banners to the form. It just kind of looks nice. So I just drag the image control in there, and I'm going to pick something that looks good for a vacation request. So I don't want it to be so tall. I'm going to do 150 height this time, and I'll look for an image that would be good for vacation. Hey, that looks good for vacation. Okay, I don't want just the sky. There we go. Now it looks right. I just pick centered. Boom. There's that part of it. All right, and then I need some containers here. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to drag a container, and I'm going to pick the theme. I'm going to use simple border. And then this time I'm going to use a copy function. So I have a little control here. I can just hit copy, and I'm getting even faster than I was before. So I know I wanted 3 containers for this particular form. So the first part is the stuff that the employee fills in. And I want to have a 2-column layout for that. So I'm just going to switch that over to 2 and just drag and drop fields onto the form. Remember, I have this ability to set a rule here to make it default to the current user on the new form. You notice that I'm not typing anything. I'm just clicking on configuration settings, and it applies all this, which makes it fast. Okay, and then I put in the request, this description of the request. I'm going to put a container inside the container here because I want to have a start end date. Those are short fields, so they don't need as much room. So now I've got, kind of a grid style layout that looks the way that I want. And then maybe they want to put some notes related to the request. So I added a notes field for that. We need a status field underneath of that. So I'll just drag that right under the container, as far as approval for that. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We're going to have an approval system. So my next section will be about approval. That one's going to be a 2-column. So I just drag that over to 2. And then I'm going to do manager And then I have a special field here, which is part of our tools, which allows you to do handwritten signature. So we got manager, manager approval. Then we're going to have HR manager and HR approval. We're going to demo how that works in a second. And then we want to allow HR to put some notes in the bottom for updates. And that's about it. We don't need to really have attachments or anything like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and publish that out, and then we'll test out our form. It's published, all done. All right, and now instead of plain vanilla, we have our custom form. Looks pretty nice. We've got a friendly header at the top. Well, it shouldn't say sample heading, but I know how to fix that. Okay, notice it defaulted my name in there. And then I have a rich text editor I can put in my notes. I've got, all the controls you expect. I've got a date picker for that. Type in my information there. This part's cool. You can actually put a handwritten signature in here, just like that. So you have a nice signature field, both for the manager and HR, that type of thing. If I have made a mistake, it takes me only a few seconds to correct that. So I forgot to put in vacation request here, so I just go vacation request and then hit publish. I'd wager to guess there is no way any of you on our meeting have ever built forms this fast. I would be shocked if you could demonstrate something to me where you're doing it this quickly. And that's just such a critical aspect of these tools. All right, boom, second form done. Let's go ahead and do the third form. That's going to be for document approval. This would be the idea of somebody has a document they want to submit for training or something like that. It needs to be reviewed by other staff members. I'd already made a dummy one. There we go. There's the incredibly boring out-of-the-box SharePoint list of fields with no special configuration or controls or anything whatsoever. And we certainly don't like that. I'm going to go back to Form Designer, and now we're going to do document approval form. You can see a pattern of what I'm doing. I always start with the container and the standard button bar, and then at the top, I'm going to style the main outer container. I'm going to do the rounded shadow. I just like that one. And this time I'm going to do light blue background. I can subtly adjust. I don't have to only use those color swatches. I can use that as a starting point and go from there. Now it's got a background, and we'll do like we did before. I'm going to add a header to the top, just like so. And we'll let that be a big header. Why not? Let's see what it looks like. And then I'll pick an icon. I always like to pick icons for these. This is for document approval. There, I'll do that one. This time I won't do sample heading. Let's actually put in document approval. You can see as I type in this configuration, it's immediately updating the UI, which is so cool because I know just exactly how this is going to turn out. Okay, let's put the banner on the top. Boom, drag and drop, just like that. Banner, pick the banner. And I should comment, you guys can do every single thing I'm doing right now immediately after this call. You're going to be able to install this. Our trial software allows you to do everything in our tools. All right, let's do 100. Yeah, that'll work. There, I like that. I didn't want to see the wrinkly hand so much, but I like that one. Okay, so now we've got that set up. And now let's do some containers. Let's do some rounded containers this time. So I'm going to do the theme option rounded border. I already kind of know how many containers I want, so I'll go ahead and use the copy function. I want to have 4. Click, 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 click. There you go. Boom. They're already there. All right. So in the first container, I need a container inside of it because the top part of it is going to be 2-column. And now I'm going to start my fields again. So similar to before, I've got a requester, and we want to default that. So I'll make a role for that. And dynamic on the new form, I want that to default to the current user. Done. And then after that, we've got the title for the approval that's being done. And then we're going to put a category that they're going to select. And then status. And then below that, that's where they're going to put in their notes. That's one of those big text box areas. So we'll do request your notes right under that. And then after that, we'll do attachments because they want to attach their document that needs to be approved. And that for the user is a drag and drop style interface. So that's really cool. And then we'll get into the approval section. So this will be for approver 1. So I'm going to do a container inside of there for the first couple of fields. So I can do 2 of them next to each other. So we have the name of approver 1. Whoops, that's approval 1. Approver 1 is going to be right next to it. See, that's the cool thing. If I need to reorder the layout, I can just take the handlebar and I can just reshuffle these really easily, right? I'm not having to do any configuration settings. Everything I'm doing is with my mouse. All right, so after that, we need to give them an approval note section. So this would be approver 1 notes. They get a nice big box for that. And then it's a rinse and repeat. I want to do the same thing for approver 2. Whoops, forgot to do the container. There it is, 2 column, just like that. Approver 2, and then approval 2. And then right below that is going to be their notes section. There we go. And then we want to do the email control again so that people can get updated. So I can do alerts. Check here if you want to get an email when updated, just like that. All right, that's it. Publish. Done. All right, let's check it out. All right, so if I go to document approval, I can do new document approval, and now we're completely different than the out-of-the-box form. Styled exactly the way I want it to look. Nice, easy-to-use interface, easy to understand, simple to use controls, just like that. There's the handwritten signature area. So I can create any kinds of tools that I want with these forms, but the ease of use and the speed is a huge factor. I talk to all kinds of different customers and users out in the SharePoint world, and they're all in the same boat. They're all looking for a good method to build custom forms. And in my experience, far and away, this is the best. And it's something that I think you'll be very much like me. Once you begin to use it, or once you become more and more comfortable with it, it will be indispensable for you. So I hope you like the demonstration. Like I say, we're recording this so you can rewatch and you can actually follow and do everything that I just showed in this video. And I think if you do that, it's going to help you to understand the benefit of having that tool set. Now, for InfoWise, what you want to do is go to their website. It's all my forms, and you can install this for free, whether it's for on-premise or SharePoint Online. So you just go to InfoWiseSolutions.com and you do try now for free, click on install, and then just pick SharePoint Online or on-premise. You can get going in a few minutes. There is an alternative option if you want to just have a trial created for you in our tenant. If that will just make a site like a practice site on the InfoWise site. So that's another option for you as well. We have all kinds of information to help you learn how to use these tools. That's in our resources section. We have tutorials. There are many training options to help you ramp up and become proficient and more advanced in using these tools. And then, of course, all kinds of documentation to show you how to use that. So you can go out to our website to get that information. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to answer questions first, then we're going to go ahead and do a drawing for a shirt. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these and I'll try to answer for you. Source the banner images, those are provided as part of our product. But of course, David, you can use your own images as well. You can just reference the URL. But those are ones that are built into the Ultimate Forms product. Dynamic fields. Of course, dynamic forms are a huge part of the value of this tool. This demonstration was to emphasize ease of use. If you're interested in the concept of dynamic forms, where form sections appear or hidden based on certain conditions or based on the user role or status or things like that, what you should do is go to our resources section. If you go to our webinars, you're going to see presentations that especially emphasize that type of concept. In fact, there was a webinar in April called Build Dynamic Approval System. Anything that says dynamic in there, it's going to emphasize those concepts. So it's quite good at handling those situations. Yes, another question from Steven, can you conditionally make it where only the, like the management or something? Yeah, this is what you would call field permissions, and it is something that's part of our form product, a very nice feature. How do you print the forms? We have a PDF print template tool that's a part of our product. So if you go into our settings screen, it's under print and export, and then you can very simply go through, create a profile, pick your columns, and it will give you a PDF printout. That's also covered in our tutorials and training and other webinars that we've done. And this gives you the ability in the interface to go in here and you can actually do a PDF output. By default, it has a form that just kind of dumps out the information, but you can customize that to make it look however you want. Do we have pre-built Power Automate flows? Okay, so Power Automate is its own product. So our product doesn't contain Power Automate. We do have actions. That is the workflow related concept in Ultimate Forms. And yes, you can do all kinds of different automation. The example you'd reference, creating a PDF or send email, of course, that's built in. So all you have to do is go in here and you would either go to the actions menu and you can do all kinds of different automation. If you're interested in configuring automatically sending emails, that's under alerts. That is a comprehensive email alert profile system. You just click add a new profile, set your rules, and away you go. So that's quite well taken care of. All right, just go through a couple more questions and we're going to give away a shirt. How do they work on mobile devices? Great question. This is using responsive design. So the display of the form is going to automatically adjust when it has a smaller real estate area. So just the same way that SharePoint Online adjusts if you access it on your mobile phone through the browser, in the exact same way these custom forms adjust to fit into that. The best way for you to see how that works is to try out the software, set up a form, and load it up on your phone. You'll see exactly what I mean. Capturing the employee's manager. There is the ability to tap into Active Directory and do profiles. That's a little bit outside the scope of the presentation today, but that's another thing you can try that is built into the product. There's a question about the digital signature. Probably the best thing is to just try that out for yourself on the form. In our system, the way that's set up, we refer to the field as a signature field, and it's configurable. When you create the column, you can indicate the signature type, and what I demonstrated today was the handwritten signature. I'm not sure the question about uploading documents outside the organization. In SharePoint, you do have to be able to log into the environment. There is the ability to do something called public-facing forms, which I think is a bit differently. So that's something you'll need to send us an email after. Let me give you an email address. So if you want to have more of a private conversation so that you can talk instead of having to use the chat box, we're very happy if you'll do that. You can go to the InfoWise site and just go to sign up for a demo. Just say request a demo, fill in your information. We'll set up a web meeting with you. Another thing you can do is just email me. I'm happy to answer questions that way. My email is willc@infowisesolutions.com. So that's WILLC@infowisesolutions.com. Let's go ahead and do a drawing for a shirt. I'm going to send somebody a free shirt today. You need to enter in the questions number from 1 to 100. I'm going to give you about 15 seconds, and whoever gets closest to my number is going to be getting a free shirt today. Five, four, three, two, one. Okay, we've got a winner. That is Clayton Randall. Clayton, what you can do is email me with your shirt size and mailing address, and I'll get that out to you today. So just send that to my email, willc@infowisesolutions.com, and we'll get you taken care of. Congratulations, Clayton. All right, so that concludes our main presentation on fast form building in Ultimate Forms. I do want to repeat, we're going to upload this to YouTube later today. You can replay the presentation. And what I would recommend is that you install the trial software. And as a challenge, what you could do is go ahead and try to follow what I did in the video. You can pause the video. It should be pretty straightforward. You can just create fields in your SharePoint list. And then with our tools, you can just do all the things that you saw me do in the presentation today. And that'll start to help you get familiar with our form building tool. All right, we're going to move on to the next part of our presentation, which is about an additional tool available to you, which is something that works nice in addition to Ultimate Forms. That is SharePoint Dashboards. SharePoint Dashboards is specifically for SharePoint Online, so I do want to get that out of the way. Ultimate Forms will work for on-premise and SharePoint Online. SharePoint Dashboards is about creating indicators and dashboards and things to visualize data to make things look nicer. What you can do with SharePoint Dashboards is you can start out for free. We've got 20 free templates, and you can get in here, and those free templates are going to be things that you're going to want to use no matter what. Now, once you've done that, if you really like that tool and you want to tap into more options, there is a pro option, which is a subscription fee, which is pretty inexpensive, and there are an additional 82 pro templates that are also available. I'm going to demonstrate some of the functionality right here in our fast form site, just so you know. We'll just start out with a simple example. This is something I use probably more than any other control, and that's just putting an edit button into your list. Okay, so I do need to sign in. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And like I say, you can just sign up for free, and then you get your own sign in. You can use the same thing I'm showing right now. And then it shows you a preview of what this is. This is just an edit button to take you directly into the form. And it shows you a preview of that. And then I can configure the controls just like in Ultimate Forms. I can make it look however I want. Once I have everything set how I want, I can just click Copy Template. It gives me a little bit of instructions and just hit OK. All right, so I want a field in here so I can do edit. So I'm going to go to the list settings. I need to create a field to hold that. So I'm going to do create column. I'm going to call this form, and it can be calculated. All right, so I'll just put some stuff in. This is just something to hold that. So that's going to be on the list view, and then I can use my code to make it look how I want. I want that to be the first column, so I'm going to edit the view, and I'm going to move that up. I'm going to make that first thing I see. That would be number 1. And now I get to make the fancy button. So this is fun. All I got to do is click on the column header, column settings, and do format the column, and then it's just a paste. Okay, so I already copied it from the tool, paste, boom, there's the button. Okay, really simple concept, this one. Okay, so I just click on that. What does it do? It takes me directly to the edit form. Really handy. Okay, so there's other buttons, right? So if I go back to the gallery and go to buttons, maybe I want a button to take me to the view form. Okay, so there's a link for that. So view, it's right there. And then there's all kinds of other buttons that you can add. So that's kind of the tip of the iceberg. Those are some basic things you can do, and a lot of those are free. But I can also do things like indicators. So if I go back to my forms, I have a priority on help tickets, that kind of thing. I don't have any records. I need to have records to be able to do anything. Let me do, my computer is smoking. Okay, all right, so let me pick a category. We're going to say that's high priority. And I'm just going to dummy in some other stuff just so I can get the ball rolling. Okay, so hit save. Oh, got to put in a phone number. Save. All right, so that looks boring. I don't want priority to look like that. So let's go ahead and go to a template and let's find something to make that look better. Okay, so I can go to these indicators. There's one that's free that you guys can try out, just called status priority levels. I just go in here and I need to give it some value. So my priorities are high, medium, and low. Okay, so let's do reset, and then I'm going to do first value is high, and I'll say that's going to be red. Okay, add row, and then I say medium. Let's make that orange, and then we'll do low. We'll make that like a light blue. Let's do that. Okay, so there's light blue. Add the row, and I just hit copy template, just like before. And I can come back over here. Okay, and let's do column settings, format the column, and then I can just go in here and do advanced, paste. There, now I have a kind of a cool control, and I can change it. I turned on inline edit, so I can actually change the priority just from the list view. So I'm just kind of dressing up the UI a little bit. It's just a way I can do that, and I can keep on, adding more things like that. I can add profile pictures, stuff like that. As far as different templates available, a big value in this tool set is there are lots of charting templates. In fact, there are 22 charting templates. So, probably just about any kind of thing that you want to build. And that will take your view, your SharePoint view, and convert it over to that. In all cases, there's examples to show you how that would work. So if you go into the template, there's a few things. First of all, you see a preview to help you understand what kind of data you need. And then there's a real-time preview, so I can see what I'm going to get before I copy over. So if I change the colors or I change options in here, you're going to see the interface change real-time in this configuration tool. Now, if I need more help, what I can do is click on this link, and you can go to a video tutorial. You can watch a YouTube video that'll walk you through exactly how to use it. In the help section below, it's going to tell you what kind of fields are needed for that particular template. And then there's just additional information you can get. For custom icons and things like that, that's often something that you want to do. So if I wanted to pick a different icon, let's go back to that edit one for a second. We have these Microsoft icons. So there's a configuration tool, and I can browse through this whole long list of icons, and it can be whatever I want. I don't have to use that pencil. I can make it look however I want. I can make it as big as I want. I can change every aspect about this. It could have a shadow or not a shadow. Maybe I don't want a rounded border. You're in complete control of how that's going to look. So it really follows a lot of the same philosophy as what you're seeing with Ultimate Form. So this is a companion tool. You only need a license for the person building it, which is a huge advantage. As a comparison with Power BI, you have to get licenses for everyone looking at Power BI dashboards. In this case, you just need a license for whoever's creating templates. It's pretty inexpensive. You can sign up to pay as you go with a monthly subscription. And so you can, start using it. And if it's great, you can keep going, but you can stop if you want to. So you don't have to make an annual commitment. So that's really nice. So I do want to emphasize that you can just sign up for free. Just click Get Started and then click Start Free. And there's a simple sign up form. Just give your name and email. And once you submit that, you get a free login, and you can start with the free templates. Those are the ones that have the green pill next to them. And then if you are thinking about the other ones, what's cool is you can still go into the template builder screen and play around with it. It'll show you exactly what it does. So you can't copy the template, but you can try it out. You can test the functionality, see how it's going to look, and do some evaluation just to see what's available to you, before you would do that. So this is just an additional tool I wanted to help you guys be aware of that you can try out. And the free version even will give you some things that I'm sure that you will have benefit and you can use all the time. Does anybody have questions on SharePoint dashboards? There's a question about are forms and dashboard compatible with the free version of SharePoint? Elaine, I don't know what you mean when you say the free version of SharePoint. I wasn't aware that there's a free version of SharePoint. But in any case, the dashboard templates are available for SharePoint Online. Okay, the edit button, there's a question about that. The edit button, it will load the ultimate forms. It's no different than if you'd select edit from the menu. So Stephen, that's a good question. It works just the same way you would expect it to work. It's just going to open the edit form, or if you use a view button, it'll open the view form. You can try it for yourself, find out for yourself. It's really easy to try this stuff out. All right, good question. What else you guys got? I'm going to stop the recording of our presentation, but I will keep the meeting running in case you guys have additional questions.